Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your trusted source for sharp political commentary, a bit of banter, and the occasional Ferrari sighting that sends South Africa into a full-blown scandal spiral. If it's your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop your take in the comments. Because today, we're diving into a story that's got it all: luxury cars, political power, and the kind of silence that screams, "I've got something to hide." Let's set the scene. It's a regular afternoon in Sandton, South Africa's unofficial capital of excess. You're probably dodging potholes in your 2012 Toyota Corolla when suddenly, a Ferrari 12-cylinder slides into view. Not just any Ferrari, this is the new R10 million model. The kind of car you'd expect to see in Monaco, or maybe outside a Saudi prince's palace, not outside the local toshes. But who's behind the wheel? Not a platinum-selling rapper. Not a mining tycoon. Not even a crypto bro. No, it's a young man named Olesun Morero. Not a household name by any stretch, unless, of course, you follow Johannesburg politics. Because it turns out, Olesun is the son of Dada Morero, the ANC's mayor of Johannesburg. Now if you just felt a shiver of déjà vu, don't worry. You're not crazy. South Africans have seen this movie before. The only problem is, it keeps getting sequels. So here's the deal. The Ferrari 12-cylinder isn't your average "I've been hustling" kind of ride. We're talking about a hyper-luxury car that retails for R10 million before customization. Throw in a few upgrades, and you could be looking at R12 million, easy. And yet, somehow, a guy with no visible business, no listed occupation, and no public-facing hustle is casually riding around Gauteng in one. Naturally, social media exploded faster than Eskom's transformers during Stage 7. Videos of the car popped up all over X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. People didn't waste time connecting dots, real or imagined. The internet detectives came out in full force. Where does this guy work? Who paid for this? How old is he? Is it leased, gifted, or just a very elaborate test drive? But the most viral question of all. Is this what political connections get you in South Africa today? And honestly, who could blame people for asking? Because when public outrage over corruption is practically baked into our national psyche, when we've just emerged from the long, painful shadow of state capture, and when the ANC is still trying to rebuild public trust, you'd think someone, somewhere, might tell the mayor's son, maybe stick to a Golf GTI for now. But nope. Instead, what we got was silence. Not a statement from Olesun. Not a word from Dada Morero. Not even a flimsy, "it's not his car," from an overworked ANC spin doctor. Just pure, uncut quiet, exactly the kind that makes South Africans start sharpening their pitchforks. Let's unpack why this is such a big deal. First, there's the obvious optics. South Africa is in economic turmoil. Youth unemployment is sitting well above 50%, service delivery is collapsing in many municipalities, and many citizens can't afford basic groceries. And yet here we are, watching the son of a public servant, paid by your taxes, by the way, cruise in a vehicle that costs more than entire townships' annual budgets. Second, there's the credibility issue. Dada Morero came into office with a so-called clean broom image. He was seen as part of the ANC's reformist faction in Gauteng, the man of integrity, someone who could help the ANC shake off its reputation for sleaze and tenderpreneurship. But now, with this Ferrari-size question mark hovering over his household, people are starting to wonder if it's just another case of new face, same old playbook. And third, perhaps most importantly, this has reignited the call for lifestyle audits. Not just for politicians, but for their families too. Because let's be real, it's no longer enough to ask how a minister affords a second mansion. We now have to ask how their children are out here flexing like Formula One drivers in a country still struggling to recover from the pandemic, the July riots, and decades of corruption. Let's talk numbers for a moment. A Ferrari 12-cylinder's monthly financing, assuming you're not paying cash, would require a R250,000 to R300,000 per month repayment. That's not including insurance, fuel, maintenance, or your standard issue Santan parking spot. And unless Olesun Morero is secretly the founder of the next African Amazon, people are understandably skeptical. We scoured the internet for any trace of Olesun's entrepreneurial empire. Nothing. No startups. No mining stakes. No flashy tech ventures. Not even a YouTube channel trying to explain forex trading. It's like he materialized out of nowhere, with a key to a car worth more than most homes in Hyde Park. And that, right there, is the problem. In a country still battling real inequality, these moments, these flashy, unexplained shows of wealth by politically connected individuals, become flashpoints. They spark anger, memes, and yes, even fear. Because they remind us that the political elite, and their offspring, seem to operate in a totally different universe. One where rules don't apply. One where the consequences never seem to land. Some online defenders are saying, maybe he won the lotto, or you're just jealous. But jealousy isn't the issue. Accountability is. Transparency is. If you're a private citizen with private wealth, live your best life. But if your dad runs the biggest metro in the country, and you're flashing wealth that can't be explained by any visible means, people will, and should, ask questions. Imagine if a young man from Alexandria showed up in a Ferrari. No job, no business, no explanation. You think the cops wouldn't pull him over on sight? You think SARS wouldn't be knocking on his door before he got out the parking lot? That's the real double standard. One rule for the connected, another for the rest of us. And let's not ignore the political implications. The ANC is now part of a fragile government of national unity, desperately trying to project unity and reform. Scandals like this, however small they might seem, chip away at that credibility. They make it harder for ordinary South Africans to believe in any kind of political reset. So what now? Will the ANC speak up? Will Dada Morero issue a statement? Will Olesun tell us where the money came from? Or will this become just another chapter in the long, sad book of South African political scandals that flared up, trended for a few days, and then vanished into thin air? We hope not. Because this isn't just about a car. It's about the system. The message it sends. The culture it enables. And the question we keep having to ask over and over again, who is really benefiting from power in South Africa? Let us know what you think in the comments. Should family members of public officials be subject to lifestyle audits? Is it fair to scrutinize Olesun's Ferrari, or are we overreacting? Hit that like button if you believe in transparency. Subscribe if you think this story needs to stay in the public eye. And don't forget to share this video, because accountability only works when we keep talking, keep watching, and keep demanding answers. Thanks for watching, stay sharp, and as always, see you next time.